Thank you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for coming on. And thank you, Andrew, so much for taking time to hang out with me today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's going to be fun.
And this is going to be fun. This is going to be great. Already, everybody, I saw people were asking about your hair. I told you I liked your hair.
Yeah.
So,
I'm psyched. Yeah.
what made you decide to go with green?
Oh, well, with green specifically, I don't know. I think it's like my favorite color, honestly. Uh,
Yeah.
my friend, I was like, I literally want to look like a tennis ball, and this is the outcome. So I think she succeeded, and I don't know. I've just been. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fuck it. Like I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I right before I lost my hair, before I did chemo, I dyed like my whole head hot pink. It was really cool. And in the near future, actually, I'm thinking about going like all blue.
Nice.
Like
Yeah, I wanna
so.
do pink next. I think pink or
You
blue.
want to pink?
Yeah, I'm gonna go through the whole spectrum. I think
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm gonna eventually hit them all. I think.
Yeah. And um how how like how's everything going on in your life right now? I don't know, life is like crazy for everybody because of corona. Everything's different. Are you like stuck in the house like all the time? Like, what are
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm pretty stuck at home for the most part. Until very very recently, like within the last week, some of my like closest friends that didn't live as close to me for a few years just moved back. So it's good to have them around. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, uh, I pretty much just hang out all day at home. I don't really go out much during the coronavirus. I'm not gonna go, out to bars with friends and stuff. Even though there's some places that are open, it's just like no, I'm not into that. But
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't risk it either.
yeah, I don't want to risk it, and it just seems, I don't know. I understand businesses you know need to open and need business. It's just this year sucks.
Yeah.
There's no pussyfooting around it. This year sucks. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you know what I do a lot to pass the time and take my mind off things is play video games.
Yeah, that's actually I started. Oh man, they're making me dab. Sorry.
You got
um that I started streaming a few months ago, because you're an amputee, guys. If you didn't know this, Andrew is also an amputee, also right above the knee, right?
Yeah, we have the same.
We had the exact same amputation.
Yep.
So I also find, like, playing video games is great because it's not demanding, physically, and you can get really, really into it, and it's just a lot of fun. So that's why I decided I was gonna I played, and then I was like, starting to get kind of lonely. So I was like, maybe I should branch out and do Twitch. And then I started meeting like all these cool people online, and it was good. But do you mind? I know it was traumatic, what you went through. Do you mind telling the story of what happened and why you became an amputee for people that don't know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can try and sum it up. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack, but yeah, basically, my band, The Ghost Inside, were a hardcore band from Los Angeles, California, and yeah, we were on tour 5 years ago. Uh, it was like October, November, um, and it was in November on the 19th of 2015. Our tour bus actually got in a head-on collision with an 18-wheeler. Um, it's still like sort of unclear to me like how exactly it happened. All I know is a tire blew and one thing led to another. It was a two-lane rural highway, but that accident was super severe, and we were in our bus, and it killed both drivers, the driver of the 18-wheeler and our bus driver, Greg, um,
Oh,
instantly. And then the 10 of us, the five members of the band and the crew, all survived with injuries staining from sustaining or from leg amputation to even just some like abrasions and bruises and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty big range of injuries, and that's what ended up leading me to losing my leg. Was it was so badly broken that by the time I got to the hospital, they put me in a coma, medically induced, for 10 days, and it got infected. It became septic, and I saw your post today too as well. I didn't even realize you were going through that just hours ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
dude, I had no idea. I was like so scared that I wasn't gonna make it to the 7 p.m. So I was like, oh man, I might have to do this from the hospital. But I'm sorry. Keep going.
oh, it's totally fine. Yeah, I saw your post and I was like, oh no. I mean, I was just obviously if you couldn't have made it, it's fine. Done it another time. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, well, dang, we'll see. But I mean, here you are. It looks like like you look completely just like you weren't. You definitely look like you weren't in the hospital just a little while ago, which is
Thank you. That's great. I'm glad I don't look like I was in the hospital. I had this scheduled for 7 p.m. and I was like telling the doctors, I was like, yo, like I have somewhere to be. And then they're like, well, you need to finish this last bag of antibiotics. I've gone into septic shock. This would be my sixth time in 6 years that I've gone into septic shock. It's like crazy. I had to finish one last bag of antibiotics and before I could go and come and speak with you. And here I am. So I'm glad this worked out. And thank you for telling us, telling us what happened, because I know it can be very traumatic to talk about that stuff. Because I know, when I talk about it can be a little hard sometimes. But my leg, it wasn't just the cancer. It wasn't the cancer. They saved my leg. I had limb salvage surgery, but then I got a hospital-borne infection, went into septic shock, and then had the above the knee amputation while I was going through chemo. So that also happened to me. When you lost your leg, like what what was going through your head? Because what in my case, I knew I had bone cancer, so I knew there was always a chance, there's in the back of my head, that I was going to lose my leg. So it's kind of like I was a little bit prepared for it, you know what I mean? But for you, you wake up one day and you have your leg, and then something terrible happens and then it's gone. So I had, I guess, a little bit of time to prepare mentally, but you didn't. So how was that?
yeah. I don't know how to explain it, and I've answered this question a lot, and it's. I think I don't know. I think that right there, like I tried to avoid. I tried to avoid thinking about how I had my leg 10 days ago and now I don't. I think that I tried to just block that out because I think I knew I was gonna get in my own head about it if I dwelled on that too much, and something in me just made me go no, like I'm gonna fucking figure it out. I'm like researching like amputee musicians and athletes, and I'm like, look, all these people did it. I'm gonna be fine. Like I just kept looking up and researching people, and that's how I believe I met you, through Limb Innovations, because we both were using the Infinite Socket at that time, and
Yeah.
one of the reps, Deborah, I believe,
Yeah. Yep.
about you and said, "Oh, you should connect with Irene and blah blah blah." So we've chatted on and off a lot for the last few years, you and I, and I've met a lot of people like you as well, like in the amputee community, and that's a huge thing. But I mean, getting the news about like I lost my leg, I just went into this like no looking back mode. Like it ain't growing back. Like I gotta fucking figure this out, and
Yep.
into like hyper focus. Um, just you know, gotta learn to walk, and then learn to live on this, and then get back to my job. So I don't know. Yeah.
Wow. So that you that takes a lot of resilience, the fact that so that was your, you know, mode of thought is, all right, this happened and now I need to fucking do what I have to do to keep moving forward with life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where my head was at. I don't know why. I think, you know, if this hadn't happened to me and someone were telling me their version of that story, I would have been like, no way, I would have freaked out. You know what I mean? Like I would have been like, I couldn't have handled it like that. But I don't know. I think all of us have this like fight or flight mode switch in us, really. All of us that like when something like this happens, you just know what to do. I think maybe not, probably not in all cases, but some cases. And I think I'm lucky in a lot of ways. Maybe that's one way is that, you know, I remember laying there, something just told me, and I would have had no knowledge of this, but something said just breathe in through your nose and out your mouth and calm yourself. Don't get your heart rate up. Don't have a heart attack on top of this. Like
Wow.
something told me to do that, and I straight up just zenned out. I remember breathing in through my nose, out my mouth for like an hour, calm myself down, like waiting for the ambulance and everything to show up, and I got choppered out of there. And that's
I
yeah,
like you just saying that, like that literally like gave me chills. Like you, just the way you're speaking, I can tell like you have this incredible amount of like control over you know what's going on in your head, you know. Like for me, I don't have that kind of control. Like I would not be able to do that. Is this something that you learned or were you always like this?
oh, like that's what I'm saying is like before our accident, I think I would have said what you just said, that I don't have that in me, but I did. Like, and I didn't know I did or think I did. You never really think about getting into some horrific thing like that, you know. And I don't know. That's just like what it's what my I felt was, you know, my brain was just telling me to do is just calm yourself and don't panic right now. Like I was aware of what had happened to me, not to the extent of what, but I knew that it was bad, and I knew enough to just try and relax as much as I can.
Right.
I don't know how.
Wow.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to start walking again?
Yep. So let's see. I ended up so I stayed in El Paso Hospital. That was for a month, and then I was in a month near my house in Michigan in Grand Rapids. I got home around February of 2016. I think I had, wow, now that I think of it, I think it was probably 2 months. I think towards the end of March is when they started getting me on a test socket, and those really first scary stages. Do you remember what it was like the first time they attached a prosthetic to your limb and like had you stand up in the bars? And it's just like, this is so fucking scary right now. You know,
Yeah, it was.
so I think that was like end of March, and then I had my own knee and socket to take home by like April, I think, something like that. So I think it took a couple months
Yeah.
from the time I started my outpatient therapy.
And now, you know, that you're home all the time, do you wear it like all day long now? Is it just like totally part of you? Or are you like, do you just kind of take a break from wearing it? Because you're
Yeah, it depends on what I'm doing that day. Like
right.
I'm, you know, pre-coronavirus, if I'm gonna be out hanging out with friends, going to somewhere, I have it on all day. I wake up, shower, put it on, and it doesn't come off until I go to bed later that night, whenever that may be. But if I have nothing to do, some days I don't even put it on.
Exactly. Yeah. Like me, I'm just chilling here without it.
And, how do you get around when you don't have it on?
So, unfortunately, my leg is like out of commission right now. It needs to be fixed. So I've been in a wheelchair for a while, wheelchair or crutches. Um, but it that's it, it's hard, you know. Like I was when I lost my leg, my right leg was my good leg. I always had issues with my left leg. So I lost my good leg. I was born with like orthopedic issues on my left side, and I had a lot of surgeries on my left side. So I was kind of left with the bad leg. So things got a lot worse for me in my mobility when I had to have an ankle fusion about 2 years ago, and it did not heal correctly. So I really like I'm actually still really struggling. Like I really did permanently kind of lose the ability to like keep up with my peers,
Or
when they're walking and stuff. Like
your
even
your ankle fusion, are you able to go left to right or up and down? Which one?
with my ankle fusion, you said
Yeah, your ankle fusion, yeah.
I can go up and down. I can't go left, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have other surgeries besides the amputation because of the accident?
No, I have a spinal fusion and I had a rotator cuff. So, I mean, I really jacked my shoulder up, and I have
Damn.
permanent nerve damage in my hand. And but our singer, the one who's hosting this vigil, he had an ankle fusion, and he can go side to side, but not up and down. So he had
Uh
like step that way, lateral, I guess.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Vigil, for hosting, by the way. I appreciate that. um so let's see. Nope. All right, he said no problem. And I hope your ankle fusion healed well, Vigil. I really do. um let's talk. What else? Is there anything that you think people should need to know about being an amputee?
Um, I mean, I think most people with common sense pick up on the fact that it's difficult and they're respectful. But just to reiterate, if you do ever encounter an amputee or anyone with any disability, treat them respectfully and treat them like a human, because I have been treated very poorly because of my disability. I've been treated poorly, and it's ugly. And like I would, even before I our accident, when I was 100% able bodied, I would never treat anyone like the way I've been treated before. Um, and it's just sick. So everyone just remember, like, and even to touch on that even further, like, the state of the world right now, like, it's just it's so dark and depressing, really. Like seeing how people are acting and on the humanity side of things, like try and remember, like you never know what anyone's going through. You really don't. Like somebody can be having could seem like they're the happiest person ever, and they could be dealing with some really terrible shit. You never know. I just wish everyone would start treating each other better. I don't know. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there. It just
No, honestly, I actually appreciated you saying all that. I literally in my head, I was like, I need to take that clip out and make sure I save that clip because that was amazing. um, somebody is asking, is it better to address the amputation when talking with an amputee, or is this something that we should leave out of the conversation altogether? Like, would you rather somebody ask you or about what happened, or would you rather they totally ignore it?
I don't really have a preference. Um,
Yeah.
personally, I think um, man, I've told our story so many times, and I'm not a shy person, and I look at it as maybe me talking about it could help somebody. Maybe it can give them some insight, or I want to give them insight, like for the reasons we just talked about, like and maybe make someone see or whatever. But Also, if someone ignores it, like that's cool too. I can also carry a conversation very well without it. I don't have a preference. It's really up to the person, and that's just me personally. Like if someone wants to ask me about it, I'll talk about it. If not, let's party. You know.
Word, yeah, that's actually like that's how I am. A lot of people like have asked me, like they were like scared to come ask me, you know what I mean? And for example, like one time I was swimming at a like I guess there was a child, and the child is like, oh my gosh, like how is she going to get in the pool? She only has one leg, blah blah blah. And then the mother brought the child up to me, and she was like, she was very friendly, and she was like, my son, he wants to ask a couple questions about your amputation. Is that okay? And I was like, totally. Like, you want to learn? Totally. I will let you, I'll tell you, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with people asking me, but there's some people that like, have you ever had people assume that you've served in the military?
I think literally every time I leave the house, if I just go get gas, someone says thank you for your service, and I've gotten to the point where I don't have the energy to like correct them. I'm not going to stop them while they're walking in to grab a coffee and go, actually, no, I'm not military. I was in a bad accident. Like I've done that. And it's like this point, it's just like,
It's just like, okay, yeah.
and whatever. But yeah, I once had an entire plane full of people get off the flight. I was in the very first front seat, and I had like 175 people or how many people on the flight walk off and like touch my shoulder and like thank you for your service, thank you for your service. Literally sitting there just like yeah, it's that's a super common one. I was going to ask you something too about when you're out in public.
Ask me, because I don't want to be the only one asking questions.
And I'm positive you've experienced this probably more than I even have. How long have you been an amputee?
Okay, so I had my amputation December 2014, so 6 years.
Okay, so yeah, you've had it for 6 years. Yeah, and you've had this happen. When someone comes up to you, they either tap you on the shoulder or they just look at you and go, "How'd you lose it? What
Yeah.
happened?" It's just like it's just a very blunt thing to happen. I've had complete strangers do it to me at like the grocery store in the produce section. I,
Yeah, like without even saying like, "Hi, how are you?" It's just like, "What happened to you?"
I'll talk about it, but like I would never be that fucking rude.
Me neither.
I, I would be like that lady was with her kid to you, like, hey, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? And there are people that do that, and I'll sit there and talk their ear off about it if they want, because they approach me that way. Like, is it cool if I ask you like some questions about it? Like, if not, it's all good. I don't want to bother you. But people are just like, where'd it go? It's like, whoa, motherfucker! Like,
Yeah.
Bill, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a crazy one.
Yeah.
But yeah, happens quite a bit.
Is there like anything that you, because I know that this whole experience, not just like the cancer for me, the amputation, like that totally changed the way that I look at life. Like, what about you?
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Did it make you look at it in a different way, in a positive way?
Yes, like I took so many things for granted.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely took so many things for granted, and it really taught me also to kind of like slow down, take care of myself, like I was always like living like this fast-paced life, like I wanted to be a doctor, like I was getting straight A's at school, like always busy, doing my head in a book, whatever. But I was always stressed out. Always, I was never not stressed out, right? And then after going through like all this shit, I was like, yo, like that's not even that's life is about being happy. Like like you just need to do whatever makes you happy, because it's like you could lose your life so like so quickly, so easily, it's so fragile. And I think only people who have had extreme accidents, near death experiences and stuff like that are the type of people who can really appreciate that feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And everything you just said, exactly the same for me. As far I totally, it put everything into perspective for me. Like, trying not to get worked up over like small shit like that I would normally get pissed about, like first world problem stuff. Like, and I still catch myself like, dude, chill out. This is so dumb. Like, I
Yeah.
still myself and I'm still working on it, but yeah, like, tell all of your friends and family, people that you love them. I'll just send people texts, say, "Hey, love you." I do that. I do that now, and it's just like that's what it's taught me. And if anyone out there, could take anything away from this, is do that, and not, and don't. It's really easy to get kind of lost on that idea, but don't take anything for granted, because yeah, it just how quickly it can all
You taken away.
be taken away completely or turn upside down.
Yep.
We're both very lucky we're still here. Like, we're extremely lucky individuals ourselves just for being able to be on Zoom, on Twitch, and chatting right now. Like,
Exactly.
I
We
wouldn't,
really are.
I wouldn't say I'm a yes man, but I am more so than I ever was in my life before. Like, I just I don't say no to a whole lot these days.
So do you think you're more adventurous, you're going to try more things, like grab life by balls type thing?
With certain areas in life, yeah, I wanna do more, experience more, and make sure I'm living. You know,
Yeah.
that's that. So definitely, like you, that's the main thing for me with what happened, and putting things into perspective. Like, I totally feel you on that.
Did you ever go through like any periods of like maybe PTSD or depression? Or you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I'm just
Totally fine. Um, I was never officially diagnosed with PTSD, um, but around Christmas of 2016, um, I had a real crazy, like, depression, anxiety just smack me in the face on Christmas Day that year. It just, like, I was like spinning and spinning and spinning out of control, and then it hit me, and I went crashing down, and I like would like wake up night terrors, like struggling to breathe, like literally couldn't catch my breath, and this was happening for a while, and my doctor was like, he's like, I've been waiting for this to happen. He's like, I'm sorry, and he put me on a medication.
mm-hmm,
It's called Paxil.
mm-hmm.
I was on that for a year and a half or 2 years maybe, and then, as you know, that was very early on. That was like a 1 year after our accident that happened. I think, yeah, 1 year after our accident. So, and then 2 years after that, things started looking up and things were getting better. And I was like, I don't need this shit anymore. I don't need this medicine. Like, it wasn't really making me feel weird. I did read that there are like some pretty shitty side effects and stuff. So I was like, I want it out of my body. I don't want to have long term side effects. So I talked to my doctor, and he helped me like wean off it, and
Yeah.
taken it in, I want to say, a year and a half now, something like that. I haven't taken it, and because I just I don't think I need it anymore, and I really haven't. But yeah, other than that, no, nothing like diagnosed or anything. But I think I had some form of it, uh,
Right.
when all that stuff happened. But he also said that's extremely normal for it to happen that late after something like I went through. So
Yeah.
kind of got it under control quickly. I would say, the meds
That's
actually helped pretty.
that's really good that you were able to get it under control, and that's really good that you like, just speaking to you, you just seem very, I don't even know how to word it, just mentally like put together very well. I don't even know how to put it, how to say it, because like the way that like you're explaining it, like mine, the way I definitely did not have a good time. I mean, I'm not saying you had a good time, but I like, because I was going through not just the amputation, but the cancer. So I had surgeries, and I developed actually a really bad opiate addiction up to pills. And I I didn't deal with the trauma the way I should have, uh, it, I just numbed it all. And then I hit a really bad rock bottom in December. And that's, when I got clean. And actually, just from December until now is has been the time that I've been working really on my healing. And this is 6 years later. So when you said that, you had your panic attack a year later, or 2 years later, I have been having like tons of panic attacks from things that have happened years ago that I have to, didn't really process because I numbed everything, you know?
Yeah, the opiates thing is before before our accident, you hear about the opiate problems going on. You hear about pain pills and all this, and you think it's horrible. But then when you experience it or see it happen to someone you care about, it is super super fucked up and horrible, and it's just such a problem, and it's just given out so easily. It's just like it's crazy, isn't it? And yeah, like they're so highly addictive, and they just yeah, it's that's a tough one right there. And I didn't have as bad of a problem as you, but I had a like tiny one where I was taking Percocet like way after I was healed, but like
Yeah.
taking it because like I wanted it. It felt great.
Right.
Like, and that's when I was like, this probably is not good. And then my doctor was like, yeah, you're not getting more. Like he cut me off, and then I just like once again just like snap back into like focus mode. I think focusing on getting back to playing drums and getting on stage again was like such a goal for me that I didn't want anything to come in the way of, because I had people not counting on me. I had people in my corner fighting for me and rooting for me, and I didn't want to let anyone down. And I just that I guess I'm lucky that I had something to focus on, keep me away from like the bad shit. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
a weird
that's
situation.
that you saying that actually like kind of got the gears in my head going. Like I need to find something that I'm passionate about, because I'm having a lot of trouble trying to figure out who I am and what I want to do, and all of that. But um yes, please tell everybody, how did you get back to being able to play the drums, and you played live shows already, right?
Yeah. The Ghost Inside has played two shows since our accident, and one was last summer in Los Angeles. That was our big comeback show. Uh, might have been the greatest night of my life. And then we played in January early this year in Australia, and that's kind of like our home away from home. We love it there, and we've played those two shows. We were supposed to play four more shows this year, but obviously when coronavirus happened, everything just got rescheduled the next year.
Yeah.
Able to get back to it. There's a lot of talk about technical. We had a little technical difficulties in the beginning of this episode. You should have seen trying to make the drums work with one leg.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how.
I tried drumming with just my prosthetic leg, and it worked technically, but it wasn't getting me where I wanted. It wasn't getting me the power I needed, the speed I needed, and all this. And my dad actually developed this device that he kind of dreamt up in his head, where he thought in his head that it would make sense for me to play drums again to not have a 15-pound prosthetic leg attached to my body. He's like, if Andrew can have free weight and nothing resisting him, that would be best for his control. He knew this. My dad just knew this. He's a blue collar guy. He worked for GM for 40 some years. He's not a scientist. He's not an engineer, a science, like nothing like that. And he thought this up, and he thought about this pedal that connects to my kick drum pedal, but comes up to like my snare drum's height, so that I
Uh-huh.
stump.
Yep. So you don't even wear your leg. You use your residual limb to play.
Yep. So I walk up on stage, and then I take my leg off, and I sit it next to me, and I'm playing drums with my residual limb with a pedal that my dad made.
That is fucking awesome.
Crazy, yeah. And I couldn't believe how well it worked when I see people in the chat saying Larry. That's my dad's name. Which is awesome. There was a Larry chant at our comeback show, which was a memorable moment.
Oh.
But yeah, like that. I couldn't believe how well it worked when he presented the device to me, and it was all downhill from there. I just went with it and figured out a few more little kinks in the technical realm of playing drums with your residual limb, and I still have a lot of work to do, and it can be better for sure, and I have plenty of work to do, but it's gotten me back to playing. Excuse me, to playing 2 shows so far, and can't wait to play more. It's really quite a bummer to have had playing shows put on pause for us because of the accident for years, and then we just get to come back, play barely, and then I don't know when we're going to play. I don't even know if it's going to happen next year. Who knows?
Yeah, it's weird. We're definitely living in weird times. But when next time you guys go on tour, I want to see you. Okay, we're gonna make that happen. I want to see you play.
Yeah, where are you located?
I live in Connecticut, right near New York City.
You're in Connecticut. Okay. Yeah, I'm in Michigan. Most of the band's in Vegas, but we're not really touring right now. We're playing sort of just like one-off shows and festivals and stuff. Because really, right now, that's kind of all we can physically handle. Like
Right.
even I have all these injuries with me that affect me, but like all
Everyone else too. Yeah.
guys have their own completely different set of them that like might affect them worse than mine affect me.
All right, then I'll travel to you.
Well, you know, we one you it's not you don't have to go very far because one of our shows we were playing this summer that got rescheduled was in Worcester.
Oh, okay. I can do that. I can make that happen.
We'll have to come out. I forget what date it got rescheduled to, but it's going to be early July of next year, I believe.
Oh, for my birthday. That'll be my birthday present.
Shouldn't have you come.
There we go. Awesome. So everyone's like road trip.
Yeah.
So gaming. We were talking about how Fall Guys pisses us the fuck off.
Oh my God, I fucking hate that game. I love it, but
yeah,
damn it, I play Warzone with my buddy Sam every single night, and I get pissed off after 2 games. Sometimes I'm like, I'm getting off. I'm done. I'm going to bed. He knows when I go back to the main menu instead of playing again that I'm getting off. But I think Fall Guys might make me even more mad than Warzone.
And what's insane is like when I first saw the game and stuff, and I was just like, oh, like this is gonna be like a cute game, a cute little like racing game, and then but every time I play, I'm like, what the fuck? And I just want to like throw my controller and shit. Like it's crazy.
Probably be like, yeah, like third round. I've qualified 3 times, and then the next one will start, and one person will just like bop me to the side, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Fucking kidding me? My dog's like, it's just it's an infuriating game for sure.
It definitely is an infuriating game.
Isn't it weird how we get so actually pissed off, but we keep playing?
Right? It's addictive. And it's like I've only won two crowns. I've only won two crowns so far. And like I like when I'm streaming, I'm like, oh, holy shit, there's so many hours that I've played this game, and most of it is me just being pissed off and angry, and I'm like, what am I doing?
God, that game pisses me off. Here's what I've been playing, and actually, I grew up on Nintendo, but then our family got like a PlayStation and a PlayStation 2, and then when Xbox 360 came out, we were an Xbox family. So I've been in the Xbox ecosystem for like 10 years. But I'm going back to PS5 once that
Oh
comes.
yeah, you are.
Absolutely. And my brother, he doesn't use his PS4 anymore, so he's like, dude, just take it and like whatever. And so that's how I played Fall Guys. What I've been playing recently. And I'm gonna ask you. You don't have to answer this if you don't feel comfortable. But how old are you? And there's a reason I'm asking.
27.
27. So you have to remember Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yes, hold on. Jess, where are you? One of my mods.
Yeah. Are they into it?
Super into it. Where's my Jess?
Yeah. Yeah. So like that was such a game changer. No pun intended. That was that game when it came out. I was already into skateboarding as a young kid, and then that came out, and the soundtrack got me into like punk rock, which got me into like metal and hardcore.
Yep.
Like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in a weird way could have been like one of the catalysts for me being in a band. Like straight up could have been partially to do with that. And this 1 and 2 remastered is so insanely good. They nailed the mechanics, and it feels like how Tony Hawk's Pro Skater should feel in 2020. And it's got the classic soundtrack, and oh my god, I've been loving it.
Yeah, you've been loving it. Yeah, there's Jess. They're saying that they love that game too. As soon as you said that game, I was like, oh, where's my Jess? You know what? When I was young, I had Need for Speed. I think it was Underground or whatever on GameCube,
Okay.
and that's it was Avenged Sevenfold, Bat Country.
Oh yeah.
That is the song that got me into metal.
Yeah,
and like
okay.
that was the song that I was like, oh, I really like this music genre. And then from there, that's.
I think specifically that song "Bat Country" probably did the same exact thing for a lot of people. I think
Yeah.
Country was a huge turning point in like people recognizing metal as like in the mainstream light, like in more than just screaming and debauchery and whatever people's stereotypical views of metal are. But
Right.
yeah, yeah, isn't it funny? Like those game soundtracks, they like real, and then you hear, if you go back and play Need for Speed Underground and you hear that song, you're gonna time warp.
Yep.
You're gonna be able to think of a memory of like where you were when you first played that, like in your bedroom at home. Like it's cool that music has that sort of.
It does actually. I've like I'm studying human development and family sciences in school, and in one of my neuroscience classes, we actually learned that like when you're listening to music, like it's literally every single part of your brain becomes activated. So that's probably like, why music can, make people so emotional, or it brings you back to, like you said, memories and, things like that. It makes like your whole brain start firing. So it's wonderful. It really is. And I saw actually this video. There was a home for people who have like dementia, and like they were very, very out of it. They were very sullen and down, and then the people started playing music from like times when they were younger, and then all of a sudden you see their eyes just light up, and then they start dancing, and it was beautiful, that music has that impact.
Yeah, it's crazy. Music is so powerful. Yeah, I love it. It is literally, and it's a time machine. It's a time machine for the mind. It really is. Like I love that it can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So do you play music like every day, a little bit here and there, or like what do you do? Do you
Yeah,
practice?
I kind of I've played guitar about as long as I've played drums. So I come in here, I have a bunch of guitars right here, and I can come in this room right here. I turn this bedroom in my house into like my little studio, and this is where I can create music, and this is where I wrote a lot of the new Ghost Inside record and
Mm-hmm.
all of my like solo stuff I've done. And yeah, I sometimes it's like you can't like force stuff out. You can't just sometimes you can get lucky, come in here and start like just kind of dicking around and come up with something cool. But a lot of times I find if I come in here and just try and force something out, it ends up shitty. But if you like, the times I come in here is if like I hear something in my head, like a riff or something, is when I'm like, okay, I gotta go do that right now and record it, or I'll forget it. And it's like, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's here and there. It's just kind of when the inspiration hits. But yeah,
I wish I had some sort of like artistic talent, but unfortunately I don't. um, but
you should pick up guitar or something. You should just get like an acoustic guitar and take lessons, or even just like YouTube tutorials and stuff.
yeah,
Or-
actually I did play piano when I was very young, so
yeah,
maybe I can pick that up again.
pick that back up. Get yourself a little keyboard or something and mess around. That could be a fun new little thing. I'm all about finding new little hobbies and stuff if you can.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause we
And go ahead.
Oh no, I was done. You're good.
Oh, um, so uh, what other games what else were we discussing earlier when we were messaging each
I
other?
thought you were playing COD Mobile.
Oh yes, see
Uh,
that's my shit.
but COD Mobile was awesome when it first came out. It was last year, before Modern Warfare came out on console and PC.
Huh?
So I was sick of Black Ops 4, but I couldn't wait for the new COD. So I was like, I'm going to get COD Mobile. And I have it on my iPad mini, and I even got the little touchpad triggers. Have you seen those?
Uh, no, I haven't.
They make these like touchpad, like physical triggers. And I'm
Wait, for your iPad?
on a iPhone or whatever. So they like,
Oh, I just use my PS4 controller and Bluetooth it to my phone.
so at this time, I didn't have a PS4 controller, and my Xbox controller wouldn't work. They did when COD Mobile first came out. They didn't have um, controller integration yet. You couldn't use a controller yet. And then I think people complained enough to where they finally added it. And ever since Modern Warfare came out, I haven't played mobile, but
Oh my God, you need to get on.
it's sweet. Do you play Warzone at all or anything on console?
So I've played Warzone a couple times, but every time I go on there, I get like scraped for some reason. I get scraped, absolutely scraped. But then I play like you know COD Mobile, and like I'm scraping everybody else. So
Right. I went on COD Mobile, and what the hell is the map? It was one of the first maps. Oh, I forget the name of it, but it has this just one long lane, and I literally got like multiple nukes just sniping people because I could just sit in the back and just snipe people from back
for,
on mobile, and that made me feel cool. And then I went back to actual Call of Duty and just complete.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm tra-
Um, you're what?
no, I'm trash at Call of Duty. I'm
Oh.
pretty bad at it. I have fun with it though. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely not like one of those like competitive players. Like I just play to have fun. I'm not like the best at anything. I just play to have fun. So that's why it's weird that I play Fall Guys all the time, because I'm like, well, I'm just making myself angry and like raising my blood pressure.
I mean,
Somebody had a question. LB dot wanted me to ask you who who
favorite band I've toured with? That one? Am I looking at that one?
who's your favorite drummer that you've toured with?
Yeah. That's gonna have to be my good buddy Adam Gray. And he was the drummer for Texas in July. And I play Call of Duty with him pretty much every day. He's my COD buddy as well. But I think he's a fucking alien. Uh, he, he's one of those guys that when I watch him play, just makes me not want to even play drums. He's so fucking good. He
Really? Wow.
fucking good at drums. It is disgusting. He is just absolutely insane to watch. I've been able to watch just him behind the kit multiple times, and I'm seriously just watching him like fucking mind blown. He is so good, and he's such a good dude and so funny. And he's definitely my favorite drummer that I've ever toured with.
That's really awesome. That's really awesome.
I just said you didn't believe me that he was the best drummer you've ever seen. I'm telling the stream crew right now that Adam Gray takes the cake without a doubt.
Quam Peddler is asking or telling me to thank you for bringing out the Take Back brand. They got your green hoodie. I saw the Take Back stuff today. I clicked on it, and so tell us about that.
Yeah, that's well. Thank you for getting a hoodie, by the way. That's awesome. But you should take a picture of yourself in it and message it to the Take Back brand Instagram.
Do that, Quam Peddler. Take that picture of yourself and DM that.
Want to post all your beautiful faces. Yeah. So that is it's a clothing brand that I run with one of my best friends, Sam. We've known each other since high school. We've always been big nerds about like Nikes and Adidas and shoes and like sneakers and like 90s apparel and throwback stuff. And we both had talked like one day we kind of just threw it out there like just like, hey, we're always like sending each other pictures of like, you know, hype beast stuff and sneakers and stuff. It's like, what if we did our own brand and blah 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 and this and that? And he was like, dude, I've been waiting for you to ask me that like for so long. And we just started brainstorming ideas, and we landed on Take Back brand, and we do Take Back as one word. And the whole idea behind Take Back is that we want to promote the lifestyle of kind of everything that he and I believe in. You know, I was in this accident, and I bounced back, and I was able to take back my life. And my buddy Sam, who runs it with me, is a veteran, and he got injured and discharged from the military and still has complications from his injuries, and he has completely turned his life around and found himself a good job. He has a family and, you know, a homeowner. He's just taking life, and he took back, instead of, you know, the whole idea behind Take Back is to not wallow in pity and your own self-pity. And if you want something, you got to take it back. Take back what's rightfully yours. If you believe in something, if you have a hope, a dream in any facet of life, then you got to work for it. Nothing's going to come for free. So get out there, take it back. And that's kind of the whole idea behind the brand. And
I love that.
yeah, that's the idea behind it. So it's kind of like this lifestyle brand that we absolutely 100% believe in. And at the same time, we get to express our favorite things about brands, which we do a lot of like kind of 90s theme stuff and neon colors and stuff. I'm telling you, that's one reason I did this. I have a hoodie that matches this, and like
I saw the picture. I was like, your hoodie matched your hair.
yeah. So yeah, it's just all about positive vibes and working your ass off to get what you want and get where you want in life. And yeah, it's been hard. We launched this in February, and it's been damn near impossible to do with coronavirus and having all these suppliers that can't get us garments in time, and or sometimes at all. Some of them shut down. Like, we keep running into problems. We were successfully able to do our first pre-order launch, and we ran that for about a week. And it went well. We're very happy with how it went. And if anyone out there picks something up, thank you so much. And you're like part of the you're part of the family, like first off with us, like, so that's super cool. And
Part of the OG family, guys.
yeah, so we're at a point where we're starting to find suppliers kind of turning their stuff back on, and we're able to get, we have new samples coming soon. that I want to get out to some friends and get some like photos of and start getting that stuff out there in the world again. And then we're gonna be putting the store up again. Hopefully, I would like to have it up like a month from now. At the very least. That would be awesome. It's all gonna kind of depend on how long printing and getting stuff takes. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to cop myself a hoodie.
Yeah, it's starting to get cold again.
Yeah, it is.
Be
Definitely is.
time for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone's starting to talk about Vegemite. What?
Vegemite. It's Australian. Yeah, Vegemite. Do we have Aussies in here? Who's asking about Vegemite?
Like 4 different people are like asking about it, like if you like it or something.
So no one cares about my clothing brand. Everyone wants to talk about. Sweet. Andrew, you're boring. So do you know what it is?
So isn't it that like weird brown looking thing?
It is the weird brown looking thing. It's like
what does it taste like?
I think it tastes like bad soy sauce mixed with salt. I think it tastes horrible. Australians love it. Not Joseph S. He's an Aussie. How you going? Good eye, yeah. So Aussies, they swear by it. They'll die on that hill all day. They love their Vegemite. I can't do it. I've tried it.
Yeah.
I like it. I want to be cool. Australian, they're some of the best people I've ever met in my life. My girlfriend's Australian, so yeah, I can't do the Vegemite. But you should definitely try it for yourself and see what you think before taking my word for it.
I guess I'll try it. If I ever come across it, I'll try it.
If you ever, for some reason, come across it, just give it a little taste if you can. I think they.
What do you put it on?
Oh, you can put it on like toast and.
Like you would like with Nutella or something. Like just spread it on there.
Just putting like I don't know, not Joseph. What is the best thing to put Vegemite on? Toast, yeah, toast. Toast, crackers. So I would try it on toast. That's how I tried it. Still didn't help. Thanks, Joseph. Didn't help.
Okay. All right. Oh, did LB Dot miss him? LB Dot. He Andrew was explaining that his dad built something that goes around his residual limb and is able to hit the what part of the drum?
The pedal. It's a kick drum pedal that sits up by my snare drum at that height, and it's attached to the one that's on the floor. So it's like it's a higher kick pedal, I guess. Here, if you can look at it like this. Here's 2 kick pedals. It's as if this pedal was up here. I don't know if you can see because I have a delay, but
yeah,
that's basically the idea behind it.
So yeah, that's how he does it. But I think that's pretty cool. Are you gonna play Cold War? What?
Okay, so Cold War Alpha came out today for those are the PlayStation users. And I played. Okay, I'm not judging it yet because it's alpha.
Okay, yeah.
But right now, I'm not overly impressed by it. I'll say, it kind of just seems like the next Call of Duty game to me.
Yeah.
It is, but like there's so many of them now that I get less and less excited each year. And Warzone and Modern Warfare was so fucking good. It's going to be very hard to top. But
top that, yeah.
But Treyarch always does amazing things, and I love the Black Ops series. So I'm not saying I'm not a fan, and I'm not losing hope yet because they're also bringing back that zombies mode and that stuff everyone loves that they didn't have in Warfare. So there's going to be more reasons to play that anyway. So I'm very excited about it. Yeah, I think I shouldn't spoil games for myself with Alpha anymore because it seems too early. It seems too early. But yeah. I'm sure they're gonna work out all the kinks and it's gonna be awesome. Call of Duty is so fucking fun. What a good game.
I love that. I love Call of Duty. When I started playing, the first Call of Duty I played was the original Black Ops,
Yes.
and then that's just like that's when I got hooked. And then some stuff happened over some years, and then I wasn't able to play some video games for a long time, and only recently I started playing. I also used to play like World of Warcraft, but did you ever play any like
No,
massive?
I never played World of Warcraft, and I specifically didn't because I'm convinced that I would get so addicted that
That's what happened to me.
I think I know myself well enough to know that if I let myself just I'll try it, that I am going to literally become an orc.
Yeah, yo, that's what I was in high school. I was like probably in the 9th grade. It was so bad. It was bad. I would skip school to play World of Warcraft. That's when I like had to stop. And like it was,
Warcraft, yeah, lost a lot of good men out there.
yeah. And Jess is asking, have you played Among Us yet?
I have not. No.
No, I haven't either. But I was seeing good things and about it. What else? Mind if someone's asking about Phantom Limb. Okay, so do you mind if I ask the following? Phantom Limb and the times you forget you lost a limb. I ask as I've seen friends returning from Afghanistan who got hit by IEDs, and they mentioned a few times that they forget at times they lost a limb, and they go and they do things as they previously did until that realization hits. And has that happened to us? That has definitely happened to me. I've definitely, especially in the beginning, I definitely did. There were times that like in the middle of the night, I'd want to get up like and go pee or whatever, and I forgot that I didn't have a leg, and I would go to stand and I'd actually fall. So that I saved, I fixed that. Obviously now I push my wheelchair all the way up, so I can't. There's no way I can fall, and there's no way I can forget. But I have forgotten that I've lost my leg. Have you ever forgotten?
That literal exact thing 100% has happened to me. Get up in the middle of the night to pee, and I go to like put weight on the leg that's not there, and my ass falls over.
Yep.
It happened in the beginning, but now, yes, and exactly like you just said, my wheelchair is right up next to my bed, so that I sit up, turn, and I just transfer right over. And
Yes.
now that's like just second nature. That's become second nature. But yes, I have had the forgetting it's their thing. And as far as the phantom feelings, like I know you know it too. It's bizarre. I don't get it as often as I did at first, but
Really?
yeah, I think I experience phantom pain. I
Uh-huh.
I would say once every couple weeks. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. It was daily at first, and now I think it's like, well, I don't know, maybe once a week now that I think about it. I think maybe I'm just used to it now. It's those times where
Yeah.
like that, and it'll feel
Like
like my
it
toe.
makes you jump.
Yeah, it makes you like, and then it feels like my toes that aren't there are like tingling. Um,
For for me, like I don't know if it's maybe just because I'm like weird, or I had another bone tumor, and it actually grew into one of the big femoral nerves. And for me, it actually always feels like 24/7. It always feels like my whole leg is there, like right. It just feels like kind of pins and needles.
know that feeling. It's so weird. Yeah.
It's so weird, and but it's like that all the time for me. It never goes away, and that can get really annoying because I that I call I always separate. I said that's phantom sensation for me. Like
Yeah.
phantom sensation, like I feel my leg. It like right now it feels like my foot is sitting like on the floor, and even though it's not.
Yeah. It's
But
not like
then yeah, but then there's the phantom pain, and then like it's crazy because I can like, you know, I don't know for you, but like for me, like I can pinpoint exactly where, like if someone was taking like a pliers and like trying to break one of my toes off, or a thumbtack into my heel, or something crazy like that. Like, is that how you experience it too? Like you can tell exactly where it is on your leg?
I don't think I can tell exactly where, like in that detail, but sometimes I'll get a tingle that almost like it's like an itch, and it's like I'll just itch my residual limb, but it feels like the itch is happening like on the bottom of my foot that's not there, and that's bizarre.
And isn't that so fucking annoying when you have an itch you can't scratch?
I want to itch it down there, but I itch it on the I like just itch it like where
On
it is on my limb, and it helps. But the pain, I just get that shooting pain, and I feel it, and it feels to me usually like it's just shooting down, like if I had a knee and a shin and a foot still, just like straight down the middle.
Huh.
It makes me like jolt, but I couldn't tell,
Yeah.
like what you said about the toes and the thumbtack and the heel. I don't feel it like in that crazy of a detail. That's wild. Wow.
That's actually, yeah, it's crazy, I guess, how everyone is so different. Like for me, like I'm sitting here right now and like I'm like pretending to move my toes like this.
Yeah, that's so weird. I've done that too. I've done that too. Like, and I can think about it. Yeah, like right now, it's obviously not happening, but I'm like doing this with my ankle. It's like I'm doing circles with my ankle. This like I know I'm using the muscle that would fire that if
Yeah.
it like, and I can tell that I'm doing it. It's so crazy, isn't it?
It really is crazy. Yeah, it really is crazy. And I did a huge project on it, and a lot of like it's so difficult to study because it's so different for everybody. But the general consensus is like that it comes, the reason why we get phantom pain is because we have memory of feeling for so long. So I don't know, how old were you when you lost your leg?
So I was 20 7 27.
So you were 27, so you had 27 years worth of memory of leg feeling, right? And I had 21 years worth of memory of leg. And when you're an adult, you know, like we were, you tend to experience phantom limb sensation and phantom limb pain a lot more often than, say, for example, congenital amputees, so people that are born missing limbs, or like children that lost them at a very young age. They tend to actually sometimes not even feel any phantom limb ever.
That totally makes sense. Yeah, because they would be used to growing up as an amputee with like a prosthetic at the age of 7 or 6 or 7. Like
Yeah,
that's pretty wild to think about what that would be like.
right, exactly.
Almost
And
having no memory of what your real leg was like, or even crazier, like you said, like with the congenital birth, like being born without legs. Like, wow, that's unreal too. I couldn't imagine.
right, yeah. When I was born, I had really bad bilateral club foot. That's why I was disabled even before I lost my leg. So like, you know how your feet, they're supposed to be like flat like that? Like my like feet were like curved in and stuff. And it was the doctor actually said that I would never walk, that I would be in a wheelchair for my whole life. And uh my my parents found a surgeon, and he was willing to try to fix my legs, and he did, and I got 20 years. I got 20 good years of, you know, being able to live a, you know, typical life. I played sports, you know, I participated in gym. It didn't really affect me, you know, that disability. And so when I look back on that now, you know, yeah, I have lost that ability completely now, but I did get 20 good years. I
That's
did.
great. Yeah, and isn't it? Isn't it wild what a doctor will tell you? Because I had a doctor tell me, I told you about, I had a shoulder injury before, and all I had was a, well, it healed incorrectly on its own, just over time of being in the hospital. But then I had one more like minor scope surgery on it, and my surgeon told me, um, he had me testing my like range of motion and whatever, and I got to a point where it's kind of like stopped, just like he's like, what's happening is this bone is hitting your scapula, and it's just kind of like stopping it from moving. He's like, yeah, unfortunately, you're never going to be able to probably reach that, top shelf in that cupboard. And I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I was like, watch, and I did. I wonder if doctors tell us those things to motivate.
Maybe, yeah, maybe to push us. You want to know something real fucked up?
That's the case. It
Uh,
worked. Yeah.
something real fucked up that happened. I had so the doctor that does all my cancer surgeries and stuff, he has no bedside manner. And this is actually kind of what drove me into my really bad opiate addiction, because I was clean. Like when I did my treatment, I finished my treatment. I was clean for 6 months, and then I was told that I was going to die again. It was around Christmas time. I was told that I relapsed, and he grabbed my wheelchair and he like put his hand on my wheelchair, shook it, and he's like, "Yeah, you better get used to this because you're never going to walk again." Like right after he told me that I'm going to die. Like, what the fuck?
I don't
And
know how they can even get away with that shit. It just seems
I
so wrong.
I know. And
Trouble. It's wild.
it is wild, but it's so common. And I hear like all these horror stories from other people that it's happened to. And because it was Christmas time, so a lot of the doctors were on vacation, and this, that, and the others, but everyone came to the conclusion that I did relapse with my cancer. So I fell into this very deep depression. I was like, wow, I went through a year of absolute hell, like the surgeries. I lost my leg. It was the worst year of my life. I fought that hard and then, just to end up that I'm going to die. And it was it was really painful, that bone tumor that grew back. This is a bone tumor that probably is the reason why I feel phantom limb all the time, because it's the one that grew into the femoral nerve. Um, but when we did the surgery and he removed it, like he couldn't even believe it, that it was aggressive. It was an aggressive tumor, but it was benign. It wasn't cancer. Again, it was crazy because it appeared like cancer and it looked like cancer on the scans and everything, and it was so fucked up because for a whole month I was under the impression that I was going to die.
That's so fucked.
Yeah, it was fucked.
Because of that, that's why he told you you're gonna die. Get used to this, and he was wrong.
He was wrong. He was absolutely wrong. That's why I'm still here 5 years later. It wasn't fucking cancer. It was a different type of tumor that was actually a side effect from the chemo from the cancer. It wasn't the same cancer. It was just another type of bone tumor. And so that whole month, like, I was so depressed. So all I did was just like eat pain pills,
Yeah.
like candy, because I just didn't want to feel anything anymore. I was so fucking depressed. And then from then up until this recently in December, like, that's basically like how I was, because I had to have so many surgeries and blah blah blah. And yeah, that addiction was really bad. But yeah, there's lots of doctors who don't have any fucking bedside manner, and he's brilliant at what he does, but he does not know how to fucking talk to people.
That's fucking crazy too. They're so smart. Like, you would think that they'd be able to. Common sense kind of, guess, doesn't kick in.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now. I mean, after even hearing stuff like that from you, and just talking to you on this, like what an inspiration you are. Like, holy shit, that's so much shit to deal with, and to take, and like you still pulled through, and like here you are now, and like you went through this addiction because of it, and you're clean, and like and you're doing your thing, like, and maybe Twitch and gaming can be your outlet, and that's your thing to focus on, and like I don't know, maybe it already is, and I think that's awesome because it's, I guess, if one thing's cool about 2020 and nowadays is that like the streaming and gaming world is like thriving so much, and it's such a like a mainstream thing. So, but yeah, you're a fucking badass. Like, holy shit. I mean, I it's not about comparing or anything, but like, I mean, I respect the shit out of you for everything you just told me. Like that's I I couldn't imagine dealing with that stuff and having doctors say that to me, and like what would go through my mind. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, you're a badass. That's all. I don't know. It's hard to put into words.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. That that means a lot. Like, it is. I guess it is important because there are times, where I do really feel down and stuff. Like this whole past week, I was stuck in the hospital because of the sepsis and the kidney infection, and like I was just really, really, really depressed. But if I look back and look at the things that I have overcome, this week really wasn't that bad. You know what I mean?
That's the fucking
So
you have right there. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I like that.
yeah, yeah. I've been through much worse. So
And then trying to remember that it could be worse. Like, I wouldn't like to know or experience what worse is, like in your situation, or in anyone like that, like dealing with something like that situation. But I I I I definitely like see and hear things, and it'll remind me like how lucky I am. You know, that's been kind of a thing too with like there's been some people who have bluntly asked me like how does it not like, and these are like friends of mine that are just like genuinely trying to figure it out, and they're like how does what happened to you like not eat away at you, and that's
yeah,
a sensitive thing to say, but I get why they're asking. And you know that's always that type of thing right there is always a reminder to me, is that like, I mean, I saw on the news that like, so this person died of this, or like this person was murdered, or like this baby was born with a disease and didn't make it, even a year. Like, you hear about shit like that, and it's like, I can put on this crazy ass piece of technology on my body, and I can still walk and drive myself to the grocery store, walk around the store and shop, and then come home and put those groceries away in the fridge and the cupboards, and sit back down on the couch and have what I like to think as of a normal day. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of people that can't do that. So yeah, I'm fucking lucky. I'll take what I can, what I have. And like, why think about but if this didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened, and like, fuck all that. Like,
yeah. If it happens, it's already done. It's happened, and you have to do.
yeah, you gotta play the hand you're dealt, as cliche as that is. Like, that's so true. And
Yeah,
you have, I always put it like this: there's the two options. There, the option one is to like self pity party, kick yourself, beat yourself up over it, get bummed. Or two is to say like, fuck that and figure it out. Like, hyper focus on that. And I think everyone should try to strive to go with option two.
yep,
Easier said than done, but I mean, that's kind of what it is, isn't it? It's like one or the other. You're gonna choose one or the other for your
it
weight.
really is.
But
But yeah, especially when you go through something like that, something something pretty big. You're absolutely right. You can't. It can totally just eat away at you and ruin you, or you can fight back to get control. Take back. you know.
exactly, that's the whole idea. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
Yep.
yeah,
So that's it. You're right. I love that. I like that. I like take back. I like that.
I'm gonna have to send you some stuff when we get when we get it all up and running again. I'll obviously I'll message you and get your address, and I'll
I
send
totally appreciate that.
send you and your man there some stuff if you guys want hoodies, shirts. I'll hook it up.
All right, all right.
I'll have you
That's
repping it,
awesome.
especially in the stream too. You know.
Totally, I'll totally rep it, you know.
Hell yeah.
And you know, I just want to say, like, this was really enjoyable. Like, you are very easy to talk to.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I enjoy talking, and I enjoy getting to know other people and hearing other stories. And I like to offer any insight I can. It makes me feel good and makes me feel like I'm doing something. And yeah, I had a blast doing this. So I appreciate you having me on.
I really, really appreciate you coming on. And, you know, sometime in the future, you know, maybe we could do this again, talk about some other games and other bullshit, you know?
We'll have to do a round two soon. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, maybe once PS5's been out a little bit, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if you're gonna get one or not, but I'll probably have more to babble on about when that's out. So
All right. Great. So we'll definitely, you know, we'll definitely keep in touch and we'll make this happen again. Does anybody have any last questions before we sign off for the night? Everyone's saying thank you, thank you.
yeah, thanks for everyone that was here and hanging out and listening to us chat and asking questions. Yeah, it's important for us as amputees to talk about this stuff and get it out there and raise awareness, and it helps us, I think, personally, just to talk about stuff and get it off our chest. So thanks.
It does. It helps. I think I really do think that doing this does help the healing process.
Absolutely is therapeutic. I think I'm
Definitely.
a believer in therapy and all that. It does wonders. Absolutely.
Definitely.
You can't
All
bottle.
right. No, you can't bottle shit up, then that definitely causes problems. So, you know, maybe I don't know, have you ever done motivational speaking?
I have not. No.
You might want to think about it
You know, look.
because I like I'm just the conversation I've had with you, I want to tell you that you have inspired me. Like, just talk the way you were speaking and the way you were talking, and talking about, you know, taking your life back and taking control, and you know, like, just doing it and like being strong. Like, you did inspire me. So maybe think about some motivational speaking.
I have that effect on people.
Yeah, you
That's awesome.
do.
Thank you for saying that. And maybe, yeah, I'll think about that.
Yeah,
New endeavor. You never know.
yeah. Never know. All right. Well, it was awesome talking to you, Andrew, and we'll definitely keep in touch. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
All right.
Stream. Thank you guys too, and gals. We appreciate it.